What is up, everybody? It's Wyko, and I have a new KSHMR style FLP, and I'm going to show you how I made it. So let's get into it. Right, so first of all, I'm going to let you guys listen. This project is going to be available on my Patreon. Don't you guys forget. So hopping onto the project, first thing we're going to be covering is the melody. I focused on the top line first, and what happens is this top line is all over the place. So I had to do a lot of chord changes to make sure it would fit. And then the bass line is just following the chords. How I like to guide myself doing these melodies is like starting on the root key, and then going halfway 5 semitones down, and then ending on the root key, which is A sharp. Same as what I started. So I made another melody to show you that this kind of stuff normally works. So you start on the root key, you go 5 semitones down, and you finish on the root key. I'm sure there are plenty of better tips than this, but this is what I used to guide myself through the melodies. Of course, through these KSHMR style melodies. Not all melodies are made like this. So you have the leads, you have the chords, and then you have the bass elements. It's different sounds, but they're essentially doing the same thing. So now I'm going to show you these elements one by one. Starting with the hardstyle offbeat bass. It's just a hardstyle kick with kickstart with the low cut following the bass line, just getting that little crispiness to the bass line. Then drop bass, just those low octave saws or respaces following the bass line as well. Nothing special here. Offbeat pluck. You can do this with any Melbourne bass. So for the sub, I went with Diva because it has a really strong low end, and I just added Soundgoodizer on the mixer, and that was that. So all of the bass elements put together, add the kick and the ride. Then you add the drop chords. I use Nexus in this situation, but you can use like any cool chord preset on Silent or Aspire. It's the same result. But a cool tip for this is to actually like double or even triple like the chord elements to have a really big chord. The more voices, the better. And then the top line. So I'm going to show you how I did this. So a bunch of silent leads. Then a bunch of Nexus horns. So I added these horn sounds because I wanted the lead to sound like a horn, and these real sounds always give more body to the lead, so it's always good to add these like real sounds. And then I added some more leads from Nexus. So how I mixed these leads was a bit different. So first I grouped the horns into one mixer, then the silent leads to another one, and then the Nexus leads to another one. And basically I EQ'd them accordingly, and then I linked them all to one bus. And in this bus, I'm using Maximus, Patcher for an EQ, Imager, Reverb, Pro Q3, Patcher for compression, and Kickstart. Since I was using so many different sounds, I felt the need to EQ them differently and then route them to one mixer bus and compress the living hell out of it. The only thing that may seem complicated in this song is like having a lot of different elements, but the theory is the same. Top line, chords, and bass line. It's always simpler than it looks. It just needs a little bit more elements to sound huge, but it's always gonna sound good if you find the right elements. You guys already know, if you want this FLP, it's going to be available on my Patreon. I hope this was helpful. Like on, like off.